This is Monsters on the Mic on the Fan 106.5, giving you exclusive insider access to coaches and players for Duluth's Minnesota Monsters football team. Recorded weekly at Lyric Kitchen Bar in downtown Duluth. Now here's your hosts, Brian Prudhomme and Dave Cook.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monsters on the Mic. A little different look to segment number one. Two guys that were at the game last weekend. Our intern, Tanner. I'm Brian Prudhomme, and then we'll let Dave Cook play along as well.
Yes.
Dave, you've been out of town, but welcome back, sir.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we had a weekend in the Windy City, and so I'm glad to be back.
You've shifted from the Windy City to the very smoky city.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Which one's worse?
This city could use some windy.
Something. Use some rain or something because the air quality is not great. We hope that for the next hour, the on-air quality will be much better. Although, again, if you've been in Duluth this week, pretty much a low bar. Speaking of bar, we're at Lyric Kitchen Bar. Again, we tape this show every Wednesday. It'll air on Thursday. And then it's the pregame to the pregame. Big one, final game of the regular season, Saturday night.
Yeah, how about that? This team has really been building up to something, and we're going to get a chance to see the whiteout this upcoming weekend and see them finish off, hopefully, this season in a strong manner.
Absolutely. Now, Tanner, I called it a big one because I don't think I'd call any game with this team anything but that.
Oh, yeah.
But in terms of the standings, they can't move. And that's not necessarily bad news because the win last week got them that third seed.
Yeah, I mean, start off quickly. I mean, it should not have been as strong as it should have been of the game. But I'll tell you what, the crowd, I mean, a little lackluster at some parts, but when they really started going, they started going. So hopefully this next game should be really entertaining for us.
Yeah, the Washington Wolfpack were here last week. They may be back for the playoffs. If the standings stay as they are, that looks like that's going to be the case. The interesting part is they now play Beaumont, Texas, one of the longer treks to Duluth. We don't know a lot about them. When we get to talk to the players, I'll be interested to hear what they have to say.
Absolutely. I think that, and if it can stay smoky a little bit, I think the Texas team might be a little more comfortable. But I do think that that trip's a long trip. And as you said, you know, our guys been playing really well.
They have.
And that long trip gives bus legs. And that can help early in a game.
Well, the other thing that I want to know, and I think I'm going to ask you guys because it might be more comfortable to ask you both than to ask any of the players, we've all talked about rest versus rust. What's better? Because, again, this team cannot move in the standings. Are we going to see a different look on the field? The players won't tell us or might say absolutely not. If it was you, how do you approach it? Start with you, Dave.
I'd run my starters out to start the game. I would want to give Devontae rest, but he needs to play. Like, he's best when he's playing all the time. So I'd like to see him get a little bit of time just to enjoy the game, but he's got to start. And I guess it's similar to the rest of the team. You know, I'd want him to start and get ahead, and then slowly pull guys out. You know, and Claude needs to. You know, he's a little bit older. We can. You know, he could take some time off his legs.
Right.
Half a game off.
All right. So Tanner, Dave hit on a lot of it, but again, he made some good points. Devontae's your guy, but you want your guy to be protected. Claude has done everything on both sides of the ball. He's longer in the tooth, he'll tell you that with a smile. But you want him available too.
Yeah, I mean, against the team we're going against, I won't say they're bad, but they haven't been the best so far this season. And a team like that, you definitely want to get your new guys out there to give them some of that, how do I want to say, like, get them charged, get them ready, start learning a bit how the game works. And you don't have to put them in that big playoff game. I mean, get them ready and start. Definitely get your older guys in there to make sure they can shake the rust off their legs and be ready for that big game against Wolfpack.
I think it'll be interesting because one of the best and most notable Monsters has not played in a while. Won't play this weekend, but everybody's pointing to the playoffs and said that guy's going to be there. I'll go to Dave with a purpose. Shannon Brooks, going to be back soon.
Yeah, and that's so big for them. They need the guy who can tote the rock to make other teams play honest, right? And even though he's been down, he's still the league leader in rushing. So you've got to honor him when he's on the field. And if you any level, any number of players on the field, if you can get a defense to honor the run, you've got a chance deep.
You certainly do. And speaking of chances deep, Carlos Thompson is that guy. Tanner, we started the show last week. I asked him, how are you that open? Whatever he answered with last week still rang true on Saturday night. That guy runs routes by himself.
It is insane to watch him play.
Yes.
And I'll give him, we talked about his choreography skills last week. On point that last game, too.
He is. What is it with the wide receiver position with Arena Football in Duluth? Because whether it's been Jamal Couch, Carlos Thompson, Phoenix Sproles, you know, you look at Nathan Cromie back in the day, Mo Strong, name a wide receiver, they get it done. They might be the most chatty bunch as well, but they back it up.
It really helps also to have a head coach now, but a coach
Who was
in
a
the past,
receiver.
not just a receiver, but a route runner.
Yeah.
We had a chance to talk to Coach earlier the year, and he talked about being a wide receiver in this level of football and having to learn to run routes, quick and on time. And his players followed that very much.
So I talked about rest versus rust for this team. What about in general? Because this Monsters team won't have a bye. There are going to be two teams that will. How do they approach these waning weeks? Because you're literally going to be talking about rest versus rust just by waiting to see who you're playing in round 2.
Yeah, that's hard.
If you're the Albanese and Nashvilles of the world, it's different.
It is because, one thing about this game versus other games, Brian, is you don't have the luxury of getting started, right? If you've got rust to shake off, you don't have the first quarter to shake off rust in this game. And so I think if you're Albany and Nashville, you got to play your guys. Like you just because you're going to have that week off to rest and heal.
And there are some teams that have the final week of the regular season off too. And is it too much? Because if you've already played your 12, then you're really waiting around. And by 12, I mean games. And really, that's what it comes down to. I say rest versus rust because that's the cliche. Really, Tanner, it's momentum. You don't want to risk losing it.
No, not at all. I mean, if you're getting that bye week or even a couple bye weeks, you got to make sure your players are up to date and not falling behind because arena football is a real physical sport. You hit that wall hard, you got to be able to bounce back.
Well, and that's the other piece of it too, because we talk about not getting guys hurt. What about guys that have been playing through pain and maybe don't broadcast it literally on a show like this? Did they step aside and talk to Coach Clark? Do you talk to Tony O'Neill and go, I can go, but I can't go full bore?
No, I think those are the guys that sit out. You can't play this game at half speed. Like, you have to play it at full speed. And here's the thing. So it's a 2-3 matchup if everything goes to chalk, which is us and Albany. The same game that started the season off where Albany needed
You want
to
a measuring
flex.
stick, you're going to get one.
Albany needed to flex in the new team, and there was a player or two that were questionable that could have turned that game around. We talk about momentum. We talk about the team with a chip on the shoulder. Boy, oh boy, if everything goes to chalk, this monster team is going to have just that.
Now, of course, we all just did what the players and coaches would never let us.
Ever.
They already talked about if it goes to chalk, it's going to be this and this. There is a game this week that, oh, by the way, still ends the regular season. Then there is a 3-6 matchup that is no gimme because, Tanner, let's say it is Washington Wolfpack that are back here. That game got out of hand in the middle, got close late, and was close early. You take them for granted, you're in trouble.
I mean, I'm going to be real with you. The start of the game had me worried a bit. It should not have been as close as it is when we were looking at that team. Even though the Wolfpack has had some bounce back, and we have heard from the players. I mean, they had nothing to lose there.
Right.
And that's
they might have
scary.
been the loudest pregame on-field team I've run into.
They were. I mean, you could hear that howl
Every
from
5
a mile
steps,
away.
it was boom, and I wondered what was happening.
Yeah.
A team with nothing to lose, though, if
is the scariest.
That's the scariest.
That's what gets you.
But tell me what you like about what you've seen from this Monsters team in the last couple of weeks, because the easy answer is, hey, the offense caught fire because you're putting up free chicken numbers, as Zach would say. You get over 50, and you got the Chick-fil-A promo, but 60 and then upper 50s, you're doing something right.
I mean, when you get to that upper 50, 60 level, you're really hammering it down. At that point, you're just looking for food and overeating.
That's fair. The free chicken, it's like a Rudy Gobert missed free throw. It does become a factor.
Right. The quarterback's been playing out of his mind.
Yes.
And when you've got a veteran quarterback who smells blood, and he does, that's such an advantage for this team, the way they've been playing. But we also talked about not having Shannon. So you're going to have another piece for teams to get used to again because he hasn't been here for a while.
Well, and with that piece, what does it do to the overall structure? Because Claude Davis is one of the, if not the best defensive linemen in the league. But he's also been your running back, fullback, with some flair the last couple of weeks. With Shannon back once he is, do you abandon Claude as an offensive player, or do you mix it in still? That's a question for Coach Clark.
Yeah, but I don't think you can abandon him. But you're going to cut his touches down a lot because now you need him to focus in the playoffs as being, as you said, the best defensive lineman in the league.
So, Tanner, what have you thought of the atmosphere at Amsoil? I know I ask the players this all the time, and we ask it week to week because there are new players. Mm-hmm. But having been there like I have week to week, is the crowd getting quieter, getting louder, kind of standing pat? Because there are times, and Zach anointed me the leader of the ninth man to get the crowd going, and there are times where they're very participatory. And there are other times where, come on, it's not a library, let's go.
I mean, I'm sure over time, especially for that last game, it definitely died down a little bit. I mean, it was kind of dull, and
Right.
I mean, I would have liked some more defense chance. And honestly,
I can only do that 52 times a game. It's the 53rd one that I'm like,
give me on the mic.
I'm
I've
not
cashed
chanting.
out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not chanting on my own.
Right.
Let's go.
give me one.
well, they have rules that, once they're ready to snap it, I can't do it anymore. The TAL used to get upset with me about that. But Dave, what Tanner's alluding to, it's a nice problem to have because it dies down when you're up by 40 in the third quarter.
It does, and that's earned, right?
Right.
If you're up by 40 and the crowd starts to go quiet, that at least you can tip back and say, hey, we caused that. The problem is if it's close and they're quiet, and everything that I've heard and been told is when there's money on the table, our crowd's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and speaking of things that can make a crowd pretty good, there's some promotions this week. Dave, you already mentioned the whiteout. That'll be fun, but buy one, get one on tickets. You want a reason to come to a game, that's a good one.
Yeah, because the exposure that this team has already had and the skill level that they've shown and the importance of the games, now you can get in 2 for 1. Like, now's the time to go check it out. If you haven't checked it out already, now is the time.
Absolutely. Speaking of wanting to check something out, you want to check out this show, there's still time here at the Lyric Kitchen Bar. Thank you to them for their hospitality each and every week. Got to thank the sponsors too, though, Dave. St. Croix Casino Danbury, Comfort Systems of Duluth, and your favorite, because it's your new vehicle, Sanju.
Sanju, where the cars are. Yeah, no, we've had really good experience. We've had really good follow-up with Sanju. It's absolutely worthwhile checking out. I told you before, I had decided I wasn't ever going to buy a car there again, and I was wrong. It's just been a fantastic experience. And with Comfort Systems of Duluth, I'll tell you what, with all this smoke in the air, things go wrong with smoke in the air like this, and Comfort Systems of Duluth is going to be awful busy taking care of their city. And, of course, the St. Croix Casino in Danbury, you and I have talked a lot about going.
We have talked the talk. We need to walk the walk soon. We need to get there.
All bark, no bite.
Yes, that's kind of me in general, but that's a different story altogether.
The Red Zone sounds like something you want to be involved
it's
with.
a place to lay money on games, and there's a prime rib sandwich available. You give me those two things, I'm not going to argue.
Yep, I think that if you're listening to the show and it's something that you want to do, go spend a couple shillings there.
I like that he says that. I keep waiting for him to pull a hay penny out of his pocket at some point as well. Old school currency, courtesy of Dave Cook.
Yep.
But the smoke, the fire, it's not just how hot the monsters have been, but they're right up there.
I mean, for looking back at the crowd and everything, I mean, I definitely think they've done a better job at rousing up the crowd. I mean, whiteout, and I mean, they're really going for the college theme, I'll tell you what. I mean, they've got the Penn State whiteout coming up, basically, and they got your PJ Fleck Gophers run out.
I was going to say Jake Lambert is the larger version of PJ Fleck. I'd say he's PJ Fleck reincarnate, but he's PJ Fleck doubled.
Times two.
He's he respects the man and wants to emulate. It's tough to argue with somebody if you want to emulate him. Isn't that
right?
The greatest
in
flattery?
Your world, it's the greatest Fleck, I'm sure.
Greatest flattery is imitation. So
that's very fair. Speaking of which, how about the busiest people in the games who get emulated and flattered and all the above? The monster dancers are busier than anybody.
Tell you what, they come out a lot, and from the camera point of view, it is fun to watch. I mean, all those girls going out there, they have a good time. I mean, from a guy who used to do dance classes, it can be fun sometimes, but
I didn't know you were.
I was going to say, radio's not a
feel like I've
visual
told you this
medium.
one
All of a
before.
sudden, I wish it was.
Yeah, you could see
light
the
on
look
his,
on your face.
light on his
Right.
feet.
Yeah, no. They made me do stretches. I
Twinkle
couldn't do
Toes
one.
Tanner. I think we
No,
got a
no,
new
not even
name
that.
for
Not
intern
even close.
Tanner.
I like that. You got the ability to get up. You guys asked the players last week who was the best dancer, when maybe the person who was asking the question was the best answer.
Well, maybe they get to flip the script and ask us, and Dave and I can be like, look, we know it's not us, but we got an option for
We got one guy who did it for 6 years. I mean,
6 years?
I was doing it since second grade, man. They had me going. They just wanted me to lift the people up. That's all they wanted me. I could not flex.
So wait a minute. So you've had to be responsible for one side of the dance cam before, when truthfully we should have been turning it and putting it on you.
Yep, put me on.
You probably are able to guess what's happening next, make some assumptions, and have the camera there before the dancers are even where they're going to get.
You hear the music and it's just in your head.
Anticipation
Well, and that's
is a
exactly
big
what
thing.
I was going to go with, because I was going to say, when you're on camera, knowing that you have to get other people dancing, what's the song that you can't resist?
Gosh, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I mean, they have some good ones. I kind of wish they did other ones, but Same
What
time.
are some of those songs?
Ooh, give me
I was gonna say DJ Jesse might be listening. Maybe he's got a request list.
give me apple bottom jeans. You know that one.
And the boots with the
Yeah,
fur?
fur. That's a good one.
What's
That's
better, the jeans or the boots?
boots.
All right.
Low.
It is.
low.
It is kind of like the brow of this segment.
Yes, exactly.
Tell you what, we always joke about doing karaoke over our headsets. We're like, oh, well, one of these days we'll go for a company karaoke night because I can't tell you what. Whenever they come on, we are always singing through the headsets.
There you go. Maybe that'll be on next week's Monsters on the Mic. This week, it looks like Devontae Haynes has found his way into the building. We'll have him in a moment. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Monsters on the Mic. Brian Poodle and Dave Cook. But after all, this show is about the players. What do you say we get some players involved, Dave?
I think that makes sense. Tanner was good, but I think it's time to raise the level of performance and get some players here.
Yes, we're going off the field a little bit with Tanner in the first segment. We're going to close with the Superfan Zack Groth. Nobody knows how to grow the game like Zach.
That should be fun.
Should be fun. Speaking of fun, I think the Monsters have been having it. Couple of wins, couple of high-scoring wins. So you'd think, hey, the offense is lighting up the scoreboard. Of course, we're going to talk to defensive players. Devontae Haynes is here. Antonio Simley is here. Yes, 50, 60 points is nice, but you guys have been shutting teams down. Antonio, let's start with you. Back-to-back weeks of pretty good performances. You guys got to be feeling good. Playoff time is coming, but we can't look there yet. There's a game to do this weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we've been doing a good job shutting teams down. I think the chemistry of the defense is really becoming strong, and with the chemistry of no matter who's on the field, I think we just got the utmost belief that we can stop any team, and if any team want to come in here and try it, we willing to go toe to toe. So they can do whatever they got to do. But at the end of the day, I think we the best defense in the league, and we're gonna keep showing it every week. So
I think that has been showing week in and week out, but sometimes it starts slow and then finishes strong, or the reverse. What's it going to take to put 60 full minutes together?
I think it's just going to take, everybody being on the same page from the jump, understanding certain assignments, understanding, we got to be the aggressors, be the enforcers, and allow ourselves to just play more free, not wait to figure out what they're doing or anything like that, just attack and then, live with mistakes, move on, and keep pushing and keep showing how aggressive and strong we are as a defense. So.
Yeah. Speaking of aggressiveness, I have to ask this to Devontae because the defensive line makes the quarterback basically throw backpedaling all day long. As a secondary member, you have to love that.
100%. Our D-line is the best in the league.
That is the 8th week out of 12. I think they've said that on this show.
Absolutely. Well,
Go
it
ahead,
must
sir.
be right.
Our D-line is definitely the best in the league. Our DBs are the best in the league. Our Jacks, our Max are the best in the league. We have the best defense in the league, and we couldn't be, coming together stronger at a greater point in the season.
Then that leads up to my question. I wanted to talk to you about your coach because we talked to Coach O'Neill a lot, but he's never really willing to talk about his abilities as a coach. Tell us a little bit about Coach O'Neill.
Coach O'Neill, he has a different philosophy. He's a great players coach, and I mean that. He takes in what we say, reviews what we say, and, whether it puts us in a good position or a bad position, he's going to, see what it looks like out on the field before any final is done.
So talking about positions, we were describing in the first segment the weirdest position this team has been in regularly is up by 30 or 40 in the third quarter, and there's a lull. How difficult is that to persevere through a lopsided scoreboard?
I think it's definitely hard, just because you get to a point where it's like we kind of really exploiting this team for what they're trying to do, and we go up on the scoreboard, so it gets hard just in the sense of you got to just keep playing, you got to keep playing every down like it's 0-0, because you don't want to. It's arena football. Points can be scored in so many different ways.
We've seen that
in little amounts of time. So it's like, if you give a team a chance, whatever time on the clock is, they'll take it and they'll run with it. And we've seen teams win like that. We've seen teams lose like that. So I think that's just the hardest part is making sure we're in a position to keep our foot on teams' necks and allow ourselves to finish out with a win.
I think that's pretty well said. So Claude Davis is the leader unquestionably of this defense, but suddenly he's the tailback as well. What's it like for you guys watching him play both ways like that?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it just shows, the ability, what he can do on both sides of the ball and, allow him to be versatile and allow him to keep having fun and as the leader of this team. Because at the end of the day, I mean, he like I said, he's a leader of this team. He's a driving force, and as long as he's happy and having fun, I'm pretty sure he
never looks like he's not.
Yeah.
So what about a motor like that, Devontae? When you see him going 100 miles an hour constantly, is everybody like that, or is that something special about him?
I think that's the beauty of our defense. Everybody goes. Everybody's 100%. No matter what play it is, no matter what the score is, everybody just goes 110%. Claude definitely helps us with that drive and that voice. But we got other leaders out there, that lead by example as well. We got Devon in the DB room.
That guy's everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely everywhere. Great leader. We got Shock. We got Simley. Everybody leads in a different way, and that's the beauty of the defense.
Yeah, I want to ask him. So when you're in practice and Claude gets the ball and he's running down a lane towards you, what are your first thoughts?
Hey,
Keep it radio friendly, by the way.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking is, keep him safe. But you gotta feel everything that's coming to him. So.
Right.
Bravo.
So we've done nothing but talk about defense with defensive players, but this team is putting up 50 and 60. Do you marvel at what your offense has been doing the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, we're like I said, we're coming together at a great time. We're rolling right into playoffs, so the offense is getting they groove, and they're putting up points like you're saying. And
right.
It couldn't be a better time for that. Everybody's gelling together. Everybody's really not starting to understand each other, but it's just that bond.
That much better.
Yeah, it's just getting that much better. It's almost to the point where we're not even having to speak about it anymore,
Well, we're going to make it for the next 20 minutes anyway. You said the P word, playoffs. How tough is it not to look there now, knowing there's a game yet to be played on Saturday?
I think it's just about going 1-0. I think it's just keeping the mind.
PJ Fleck mantra again?
Yeah. I think it's just about, just taking things one step at a time. Like, playoffs ain't here yet, so it's no need to worry. We got a game. We got people that's trying to come smack us in the mouth, and we got to worry about that before we can even think about the playoffs. So.
I got to ask about Shiloh Flanagan because he had a very interesting couple of weeks. Both of them in Amsoil Arena. One wearing a Barrels uniform, one wearing a Monsters uniform. He was splashy right away. What's he been like?
He's definitely been a great dude. He started to gel with the team and just be a little bit more loose. And at the end of the day, he looked better in a Monsters uniform anyway.
He did. just aesthetically, he did. As a DB, what's he like to cover in practice?
Shiloh is one of those guys that I seen last year too playing. I knew he was a dog, 100%. Covering him in practice, it's fun. It's fun when iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So just getting better each and every day.
I will tell you this: as soon as I looked at the transactions and saw that Shiloh Flanagan was available from the Barrels, it was one of those. Can we give it 24 hours? How long do we have to wait to pick this guy up?
So tell me, though, guys, I hear that Shiloh's one of the best route runners in the league. When you're up against a guy who that's his strength, you said iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. How do you play differently in practice? What are you learning from a guy that runs routes like that?
More focused on technique, making sure that my tools are sharp, making sure, focusing on what I got to do. He just keeping me on my toes, making sure that I'm on my P's and Q's,
I think that's pretty fair. So my next question is this. We talked about practices because, again, we're the pregame to the pregame, but we talked about the differences between, say, this team in April and this team now. What are practices like final week of the year versus the Open? Is it the same? Is it different? And what's different about it if it is?
I think it was. I think we had a couple moments in the season where, we were practicing steady and doing a lot of good things. But I think because we understand the things we had to go throughout the season, and understand who we are as a team, that allow us to crank up practice at the end of the year. It doesn't matter, as far as what period we're in practice, how what type of day it is in practice.
Yeah.
I think
even when it's 100 degrees outside, you're luckily inside.
Yeah, I think lately we just been in a mentality of compete, get better.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't fought through so much this year.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing else to fight for besides going in the playoffs and making a run. So at the end of the day, when we start talking to each other or getting chippy,
right.
it's all out of love, and we know that as men, and we know that as players. So I think that's been allowing us to help ourselves as defenders, and then help our offense, in the scoring department. So
Speaking of talking, We talked to you guys a lot when you hadn't played at Amsoil at all. Now you've lived there for basically the last month.
Lovely.
What's it been like to get comfortable at home? You love it. You start.
Lovely. It's a blessing not having to travel. Leaving on Thursdays, coming back on Sundays, getting ready again to leave on Wednesday night.
Does this feel like home now because you get to be here?
Yeah, for sure. This will definitely be home now for sure. And just waking up, being able to just wake up and eat, at your house.
Have a normal life, it sounds like, yeah.
And just not have to feel like you're on a schedule on game day. Like you got to be here, you got to be on the bus, you got to
less of an itinerary.
You just got to be at the stadium at a certain time.
All right, Antonio, same for you. What hasn't been said that you can say about not traveling so much?
I gotta agree with Devontae. It's definitely a blessing. Just being able to be at the crib and understand. You're gonna have your fans behind you for a little while, and being able to just get accustomed to how things are gonna be for like you said, like a whole month. So. And even going into the playoffs, our first playoff game. So I think that's really the nicest part. And then, like you said, just understanding, like, as players, traveling is tough sometimes. Sometimes you got to go across the country or you got to take long bus rides. And sometimes, as much as fun as it is, building the camaraderie on these type of trips, it's also just, the stress of, you get to sleep weird or you got to, pick and choose when you're going to eat or, different things like that. So it's just kind of a different experience and understanding like what pro life is really about.
Sometimes getting back to basics means the world. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. Antonio, Brian and I both said you're one of our favorite guests that we've had. It was a lot of fun, but that's been 5-6 weeks ago. Looking back, I mean, it's always easy to look back, but looking back, where do you think your growth has come between the time we talked to you the first time and now? Where have you grown up?
I think I've grown up in just being more vocal. I think at first I was, I was a guy where it was like, I'm trying to just do whatever I can for the team, be in the best spot, to, reach my goals and also the team goals as well. But I think ever since then, I've grown in the vocal sense where, I can speak more freely. And people,
especially on the radio.
Yeah, for sure. I can speak more freely to the team and our teammates actually, respect what I have to say. So I think that's been huge. And I think it's because, I've tried my best to elevate my play. And take advantage of the opportunities that's been given to me because, I'm blessed to be in this position. So I think my growth has just been in overall leadership, just being able to be vocal on the team and understanding, allowing my teammates to see that I know the game and have passion for the game as well.
No question. Devontae, same question, but for the team, where have they grown the most?
The team, I just feel like we've grown in resiliency, just bouncing back and not hanging our heads with anything, Not to say that we was doing that at the beginning of the season, but it's just we've gotten stronger, and just being able to push back against the negatives and not worry about what's going on and block out all the outside noise and just focus on the task we got at hand.
So you were talking about Claude earlier playing the running back position, but your running back's on his way back. So tell me how Shannon changes the offense or maybe even changes how you guys defend against him in practice. It's a different kind of beast he is.
100%. A lot of people might not even know. He hasn't played since, week 7 maybe, and he's still the league
Still
leading.
leads the league in rushing. That's crazy.
So that's honestly insane in itself when you just say that. So when you think about bringing somebody like that back and they haven't even played since week 7, it's just, like I said, it's just a blessing. You just know he's just gonna come to the game and do what he has to do.
No doubt about that. Having these guys has been a blessing. Round of applause. Devontae Haynes and Antonio Simley. Thanks, guys. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wear your white. Wear your white.
And welcome back to Monsters on the Mic. Final segment. Time flies when you're having fun. We have fun each and every week. Thanks to our great sponsors, Dave Cook.
Absolutely. Let's start with Sanju, where the cars are up in Two Harbors.
That's where your car was.
100% that's where it was. And that's where it'll go for all its repairs and all of its service are there as well.
So no gamble taken at Sanju, but there is a place you can do that. It sponsors a lot of what we do, St. Croix Casino Danbury.
I was going to say, before we go there, let's talk about a place to jump in where there's no gambling, and that is Comfort Systems of Duluth.
That's true.
If you're going to jump in and you've got stuff that's going wrong, why gamble with anybody else? Get on with Comfort Systems of Duluth.
But if you haven't noticed, I keep segueing to gambling because that's my baby, St. Croix Casino Danbury. It's calling my name. I just haven't answered yet.
Well, and that's the thing. You've got to have different phases of life.
That's
and
right.
If you are interested in a good time, the thing about St. Croix Casino is, if you're a gambler, you've got all kinds of things to do. But if you're a non-gambler like me, there's still a lot to do.
You can watch and point and laugh at me.
Well, no, but you can
He does that on the radio every week.
You can go and just have a good time, right? And there's every reason to go to St. Croix Casino.
Absolutely there is. I'll tell you what, when you speak of gambling, there's a guy who takes a gamble on listening to us every Saturday and then attending this every Wednesday at Lyric Kitchen Bar, and he is basically the Monsters hype guy. That's the best way I describe him.
I think that's what he's called.
We talk about growing the game. How about Zack Groth? That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun conversation. I don't think that, other teams have similar shows, but I don't think any of them talk to their head of customer relations or whatever his title is.
It's basically head of fandom is the way I look at it, because when it comes to Zack Groth, there is energy and then there's Zack, because I think he defines a different level. And if there's anybody that deserves to be on this show, is it somebody who has perfect attendance? Because even Dave and Tanner don't. I do.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure
and
Zack
you get
is
to
close.
be on the show.
I think he missed one. So here's your big chance, being part of Monsters on the Mic, actually on the mic. Zack, welcome. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, well, I'm happy to be here. Very happy to be here.
Well, tell me a little bit about what exactly it is you do, because we kicked around different titles that we could anoint you with, but is there one, and what your primary responsibilities are? Because if you go on social media and want to know what the Monsters are doing or where they are, Zack's your guy.
So basically, I just do whatever Jake or Lem or Will or Josiah asks of me. It could be anything from being assistant to Mark with the team with gear.
Okay.
Make sure I get there in the morning at 9 a.m. on game day. We get the uniforms ready. We get water ready, and then anything out within the stadium if I have to get flyers upstairs. So it's the pregame of the pregame, basically. And a lot of people come to the game thinking, players walk out, all right, we're here to play. There's a lot of pregame stuff that people don't see behind the scenes to get this production going. There's
no doubt.
There's a lot that has to get done to make sure. And then during the game, I'm running frantically around keeping these.
Yes, stop right there, because how many steps do you get in? You can tell us what you do, but how many steps do you get in a game?
How
many touchdowns have you technically scored?
I kept a counter on one of the first games, and I was curious, and I already lost track because, especially last week, it was so humid in there. I told all the guys, I said, I'm going to keep you guys hydrated. I'm going to do what it takes to keep you hydrated because they were so hot. We actually ran out of Powerade.
Oh, wow.
Halfway through the third, so we
That
basically had water.
see, that's why the game got close.
Yeah.
It was the lack of hydration, literally.
Yeah.
So there's some perks in this to you, because Oceanside, you were there.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful area. Amazing stadium, amazing views. Got time to walk around the beach and actually take in the sights. Stadium was wonderful. The staff was wonderful when we got there. Loud. They played constantly. But just seeing the players adapt away from home and getting ready for away games and being in the moment. And it was a tight game all game long. And to the point that Jake actually went up and down the bench and was telling the guys, find a way to finish.
Oh, wow.
Find a way to finish. Do whatever it takes to finish. And seeing every player look at him and just lock in. Was
that PJ Flex syndrome. We talked about that before.
Just incredible. They all locked in and they said, all right, let's do this. They walked out and they won the game.
So other than the fact that you're not superbly busy, what was the difference seeing them prep on the road versus home?
On the road, it's more hectic because we're told, okay, the prep guys got to be at the arena at this time. The players will be here at this time. We got to the arena, and it felt like 5 seconds later they were walking behind us. And we felt like we were prepared. So it felt more frantic on the road, where at home it feels like we can kind of still take our time and be more prepared. But definitely on the road is a lot more hectic. It's a lot more, especially with injuries, trying to figure out where to take the players to give them the proper treatment.
Right. Where's the nearest clinic? Where do we go? What do we do?
Exactly. Yep. If somebody gets hurt afterwards, you got to figure out where the nearest clinic is, what treatment we got to do, how do we get them, depending on the severity of the injury, how do you get them back on the airplane? Luckily, nobody got hurt or anything, so that helped.
All right, so the big question that I have for you is tell us a little bit about your social media presence. When it comes to Monster social media, man, you're everywhere.
So when it came to that, it was actually pretty interesting because Jake came to me and he said, "Hey, let's get some videos out there. Let's post." Because I was 0% when it came to social media up to this point.
Times have changed.
I didn't do anything with social media. I didn't even have a Facebook page, and so I did figure out how to create all that. And he just said, "Just have fun with it," and just, he came up to me after I had done a few, and he said he felt amazed because, I basically volunteer my time. I'm not on the staff payroll, but I love this team so much, and I love every player so much that I want to give the best of me to them because they're coming from all over the world to play here in Duluth, and they deserve the best from us and the fans.
All right, so I want to talk about the one fan who you love more than the players. The craziest fan that I've seen so far, the most bought-in fan, is your little girl. So tell me a little bit about her love of this team as well.
Oh, my daughter Lily just embraces this team because the reason being is every player embraces her. They could, give a quick high five and walk away like it's nothing, but they stop and they talk to her and they embrace her and enjoy being around her. And and it's not just her, that's all the kids. That makes them all enjoy what they're doing. It's taking the time to be with the kids. It's not like, oh, hey, hi, nice to meet you, walk away. They sit and they ask questions and they want to be a part of it.
So follow that up with then, because I want to make an analogy here real quick. So we've talked about the city, all of us, or the city taking advantage of the players as well and getting to know them and incorporating them into the area. And the players seem to have that ability to connect with folks. Tell me a little bit about your experiences with that, not just simply in the family, but in the town as well.
I'm noticing it almost on a daily basis. I work at Sam's Club during the week, and I'll be at work, and I wear my hat every day, and people walk up to me, like, "Oh, I was at the game. It was a fantastic game, and I'm so glad that we went, and we're going to go to the next one." And so that's the big thing is people that are embracing it, they might not have gone to a game right away, but then once they go, then they're hooked. Because you see that a lot in town where, like, "Oh, yeah, we hear you got a team. Oh, yeah, you play down in Amsoil. Like, you should go." Well, I know. And then I finally convince a few people to go, and then they come up to you and go, "That was the best thing I've ever been to. I can't wait to go again." So it's getting people to go to understand how amazing it is.
What has that challenge been like in terms of, you were with the previous team, I remember it well, you and I spent a lot of time together. I'm not going to say better or worse, but what's it been like? Because everybody knows that there's a team. Everybody knows that it's different. Everybody knows that the venue's different. What's been the challenge this year compared to the previous ones?
I think the challenge, honestly, is trying to just convince some people to go. Because they've heard, "Oh, yeah, you had a team in the past. Oh, yeah, you guys ran through the league and got championship."
So are we going to watch you guys win by 50, which the last couple weeks we have? That's a nice problem, again.
It's a great problem to have. But there was a group of people that I ran into a week ago. They're like, "Well, we went the first 2 years, but you won by like 50 every week we win. And I don't know if we want to sit in a stadium in the middle of summer and watch you win by 50 or 60. And I'm like, trying to convince them, like, hey, this is different. We have kicking. We have more fast pace. We got
better league,
hungry players, and it's nonstop. It's this year differently is I got a bunch of flyers and I started going to businesses. I went to every business you can think of in Duluth. I probably dropped off like 200 flyers and said, bring your family to the game. Try to be a sponsor. Like, I gave Jake's info and everything. I said, we'll email you. We want not just Duluth to come to the games, but we want
invested.
Right. We want Minnesota investors. Not just we want people from down south. We want people from up north. We want people from Wisconsin. Oh, that was hard to say.
This is why I love this guy.
We want everybody to embrace and realize this isn't just like a pickup game. This is something that is impressive. This is something that's not going to go away and that we don't want to go away.
So where did that passion come from? Because, again, you were around the previous team. You're around this team. What made you want to do all this? Because you said it yourself. You're volunteering your time. You're giving yourself to the team. That takes literally a pretty selfless individual to do that.
True. Well, I just like being a part. Growing up, I was a part of sports. I was a part of teams. And I like being a part of stuff like this. If you were talking to my wife, she just thinks I'm just a super nerd that wants to be a part of it.
That's all right. Dave and I both announced that
those
we
two
get the
things-
same treatment from our wives, too.
Yeah, both of
Why
those
did you
things
pick up
might be-
another team? I get that question a lot.
All right. So my quick question for you is, tell me about this league-wide Superfan group that you have to call into every week.
The fan council, basically.
So AF1 Fan Council we do once a month, and they pick different, and it's two people. It's myself and Corey, the Mr. Big
Yes,
monster,
the monster.
the monster out on the field that loves to dance and gets on the screen and everything. The two of us get with every team, and they have two for every team, and we talk about different things. We've talked everything from platforms to for like getting people to come to the games, to sponsorships. About shows like this, we've talked about giveaways, anything you can to help the brand, and it's everyone from Jerry to down the line. So,
Right.
Yep. So it's a fun. It's about an hour and a half long, and it's just giving out ideas of different things we can do to help build this brand.
Speaking of ideas, you mentioned having to learn to have the social media presence that you do. What's it been like to learn that and be given the creativity to do what you want, but at the same time knowing you, wanting to please your team? What's been the social media post that you've been like, nailed it? And what's been something you've done on social media that went, I need take 27 on that one, that just didn't look right?
That's pretty much it. Just be okay to make mistakes, and how many times I hit the trash button.
Think about that. The amount of videos we do see, how many do you think he goes through? What's the cutting room floor look like?
Well, the question is, how many times do you giggle and then cut?
You should see Dave and I try to do promos. It's got to be bad for you.
Giggling, mumbling of words. I accidentally cussed once on one of them because after I messed up, I had to make sure I hit delete and not send. One of those times I make the video, I want to see if I can do it in one take.
Of course.
And there's days when I can do it in one take, and I'm on cloud nine. I put that thing away. I'm telling everybody, I'm like, that just took one take.
That was a rip and read, as they call it.
Yep.
So you're the guy that's really trying to engage the crowd before they get there. So I've asked every player, what do you think of the crowds? What do you think of the atmosphere? You've seen it. You've somewhat been responsible for it. What's your take so far?
I think that week by week it's getting stronger. Yes, there's some low points in the game because of the fact we get up by a decent score. So I'm on the sideline trying to get people to stand up to scream defense, and they'll sit there and do it, but they're not getting on their feet. So I'm noticing game by game it's getting better.
Right.
We just had an entire section row the boat out of nowhere.
Yes,
last
we did.
weekend.
We had a bachelor party have more fun than I've ever seen at an arena football game.
So that is our promo for this weekend. We want to pack Amstel Arena, and I want to see the entire arena row the boat. And we're giving away 500 free T-shirts for the first 500 fans. I want to see the place packed. I want to row some boats. Get loud.
I like that. So tell me this. What's been the best football moment, whether it's Jarve Flowers going into the crowd and we got to save a kid after that, or some sort of great play with Claude doing a cutback looking like a Barry Sanders-esque running back? What's been your favorite on-field moment so far this year?
That's pretty much it. Watching these players put their bodies on the line, diving over the boards with a catch. And I feel for the guys on kickoffs. They're standing there with their backs to 7-8 players waiting for the thing to hit the net, not knowing what's behind you. I mean, you got to have a screw loose in your head to be okay with the fact that you can have your back.
You said it. I didn't. I just forgot to disagree with you.
So that's the big moments. It's just seeing the players get ready and stay locked in, because when teams start to creep back and we keep saying it'll be third down on defense or offense, and we start saying then we're like, hey, offense, get ready. Defense, get ready.
Right.
Seeing the players know their roles, lock in, and get out there, and when we need them to perform, they do. Watching Haynes get out there and just be explosive. You know, we could come off the field and you can see the frustrations and sitting down hard and they're sweating and upset, and within 20 seconds that flips and they're back out there and they make an amazing play and they're jumping around, and it's like, wait a minute, like 5 seconds ago it looked like you want to run out of the building.
It's funny how momentum works.
Oh, amazing, yeah. So that's the big thing for me. It's not just one play. It's the emotion. It's the hype. It's the everything that is AF1 football. That's the big thing. We're a family. It's not just a team. Every single one of us, we feel like we're a family.
Your love for this team is palpable. So tell me about your family. Tell me about this family that is the Monsters.
we embrace each other like I've never seen before. We get there, so I'm at the arena by about 9, 10 a.m. Before day of the game. And when the players come strolling in, they don't just walk right by. They walk up and they give you high fives, they give you hugs, they sit and talk to you. And that's amazing feeling. It's not we work together. It's not like, oh, we're gonna go sit in our area, get ready for the game, go on the field. Some players, that's what they do when they get ready. You see them, they got the headsets on, they want to be left alone to prep for the game. And there's nothing
It's like
wrong
Dave before the show.
Absolutely.
He locks in.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how people prep for a game. You see it with quarterbacks, with running backs in the NFL and that. But this team, you walk in that locker room, that music starts blaring and at high pitches, and people are talking and singing along and getting ready, and that's how they get hyped. And I've never seen that culture anywhere.
Now you see it every week.
Every week.
So tell me this, if we're going to go that route, let's close on the lighter side. You were here last week when we talked about best dancer. We didn't say best singer. We did best dressed. We did all those things. I know you had some answers. Did you agree with the guys that came up? Did you have your own thoughts?
Absolutely.
Tanner's best question was best drip. Who's the best dressed on the team in your opinion?
Sproles is hurt, but he came strolling in.
Phoenix has game.
Phoenix, oh my goodness, he was just head to toe, just ready to go in his. It kind of reminded me of a '90s throwback. You see those guys in the '90s NFL gear, where
Yeah,
it's just
with the starter jackets and everything?
Yeah, basically that's what it looked like when he walked in. Just,
Okay.
Yeah, but then you got C4. He's got the chains around the neck.
He does.
Yeah. So each.
So tell me this. How does a guy who wears number 9 get the nickname C4? When Carlos Correa had it, it made sense. He wore 4.
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Good, then I'm not by myself.
He just keeps rumbling and stumbling like that. He can have whatever nickname he wants.
All right, so who is the best singer in the locker room? If you got music blaring, somebody's belting it out. Who's good?
Oh, Boyd's in the corner just going nuts.
Nice.
Yeah, Boyd's got some pipes on him.
All right, let's go the other way. Who sings but shouldn't? Or as they say, they should sing 10 or 15 yards away.
I don't know, but he's trying to make eye contact. That's all my guess.
Javante's kind of in the stands, kind of going off.
But we have multiple Javantes. Is it the one you're making eye contact with? Or is it the other one? He shook his head no.
No, it's Devontae Johnson.
All right.
He's in the crowd singing, and I'm just like, oh.
So what
okay.
we know is Devontae Johnson can't dance or sing. We've established that in the last 2 weeks.
But he can throw.
So he's a heck of a quarterback, but don't put musicianship on his repertoire.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, you've witnessed a lot of interviews by being at so many of these shows. One of the questions we asked last week is, who's the must-have guest and who's the shouldn't-have guest? Go ahead.
The guys we had last week, they were fantastic. That show last week we had where it almost felt like a family feud.
Yeah. You said that. Tanner did. He
Yep,
said, I
yep.
think this is a family feud segment on radio, and it was. Which monster would be your emergency contact if you had to put one down?
Oh, I'd probably go Shannon Brooks or Javante.
Which one? We got to be
yeah.
Javante specific tonight.
I'd probably go Devontae Johnson.
That's good because Devontae Haynes was shaking you off. Like, don't call me. I may not be able to pick that up. Meanwhile, you picked up everything we could ask you to do. Zack Groth, the super fan of the Minnesota Monsters.
Yes.
That'll do it for Monsters on the Mic. Go Monsters. Next week, playoff edition. We'll talk to you then.